In this video we will be testing, reviewing, customizing and maxing out the Dinka Jester RR. Now before I start, I just want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here. This is a regular feature that I do where I take this week's offer cars and I give them a realistic test by doing a lap of the whole map. I always start down here by the airport before going up through the city to test the handling. Then we go up the side of the map for some freeway handling and high-speed cornering testing, culminating in the ultimate test at Cliff Yeat Corner, and there's no one that plays this game that hasn't gone flying off the road at this point. It's a really tricky corner at high speed and it catches out even the best cars, and it's a great test of how well a car handles. Before coming down the other side to do a test of the top speed, and we finish by crossing the last two bridges, and this gives you a good indication of how the car works through traffic. The point of testing this way is to give you a realistic expectation of how the car will behave in lobbies and in missions and in that kind of situation. So anyway, back to the car. The Jester RR, in my view, the best buy of the week. This thing is on sale, it's under $1 million and it's absolutely incredible. The handling is really good. Top speed is a little bit weaker than it could be, but it just feels really nice to drive. I've talked before about how some cars have balance and some cars lack balance. This car has a really good balance. The amount of power it has really suits the way it handles. It's just great fun to drive. When it comes to customization, you can really knock yourself out on this one. There's so much you can do to the inside, to the outside. It can become quite an expensive customization because there's so much you can do, but you can really make this thing incredibly unique, which is a good thing because this is another one of those cars where I have to say that Rockstar did a better job of the design than the original designers did. So this is based on the Toyota GR Supra, which if you look at it, it's, you know, it has a face only a mother could love, we'll say that. But the one they put together in the game is really nice. It's really nice, and in my view, it's a much better job. So with that, let's get round to the top speed test and we'll see how this thing maxes out in a straight line. So we're coming up to the top speed test, and what I do here, I've used the maps to measure a point in the game that's exactly 1 mile long, but that's also nice and straight. And what I do here is I time it from this line just after this sign, and the finish line is just after these signs here. I measure how long it takes me to travel that mile and then do a little bit of simple maths, and that gives you a realistic top speed that you can expect to achieve through traffic. Now that's often quite different to some of the stated top speeds, but this one is a really solid benchmark across them all. And here's what the Jester RR managed to do. And just before we get to the final review, a couple of the comments on the last video made reference to the voice in some of my videos being a little bit quiet. So I've changed my setup a little bit and I'm recording it slightly differently. So I'd love for any of you that have watched any of my videos to let me know, is this better, is this worse, or is it no different? Yeah, unfortunately, I can't make my voice any more interesting. It's the only one I've got, but I can make it louder. And here we are with final thoughts and review. So what do I think of this thing? Honestly, I think this is the buy of the week. It's a really good week this week if you're into the cars, because there are quite a few decent cars and there are quite a few that are definitely worth picking up. But if you can only get one car this week, in my view, this is the best. It's got the best handling, you can put the drift tune option on it, it's got the best customization, it looks really good, it's got a reasonable top speed, and looking at the time as we start to go over the bridges, it looks like it's going to put in a fairly reasonable lap time. So this is the last test where we go over the bridges, and this gives you a really good test of how well the car handles through traffic, because it needs to be nimble to get over these bridges without crashing. It needs to be nimble, it needs to be chuckable. And here's the time that we managed to do, and as ever, here's the leaderboard with the new car's time added. For those of you that are new to the channel, anything under 9.5 minutes is a reasonably quick car. Anything up to about 10.5 minutes is okay, but nothing special. Anything over 10.5 minutes is slow. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, because some of my favourite cars are slow. But the top cars, the really fast ones, or should I say, the cars that are fast and have great handling, and there aren't many of those, but when you find them, they will do times in the 8-minute region. So thanks so much for watching, and again, welcome to all my new subscribers, and I will see you all in the next one.